What's going on, Newborn Nation? It's your boy, Newbornkilik here, welcoming you back to a long-forgotten series. If you've actually seen my Stupid Urban Stories series, congratulations, there was one video and it went basically nowhere. But I want to revive that because I have nothing better to do at the moment. So today we're going to be reading a very interesting story. Now, it's not an obscure story necessarily. It's called There's More to It Than That Game. 3 dots. Now you might be thinking, Newbornkilik, with a title like that, what can it possibly be about? Well, I'm about to tell you, okay? This is a story about Ben Drown, of all things. So sit back and relax, probably behind your monitor or smartphone, because that's what my analytics tell me most of you are using. Spooky analytics. I have always enjoyed getting myself scared. Great first sentence. I'm glad we've really just established who this person is. At night, I'd look on 4chan and other forums for creepy stories to scare myself. Why don't you just look at the stock market? That's pretty scary. Not topical, but pretty scary. Or maybe take a look at EA and how they're basically f***ing everyone in the ass with their new game. Did that get too real for... Hold on. Let's get back to the story. I'd find media video links to scary movies and watch them at night. Author's living on the edge, guys. But his movie list consists of The Exorcist or The Thing. Yes, those are 2 exercise/thing related movies. Sure to scare the pants off of anyone. The movies would never really scare me, but the stories definitely would. I always found that weird. But I guess our imagination is what really scares us. After all, the people who don't find stories scary usually are uninterested or just don't have any imagination. Kind of like the person who wrote this story. But I am very interested in this stuff. Maybe I just like other people's creativity because I lack it myself, or maybe I just like the extremely slim chance that some of this nonsense that I have read could be real. That has always tantalized me. Semicolon. Good use of a semicolon. You don't see those very often on the internet. The uncertain fact that some of this crazy bullshit could, actually, have some truth. I always Google every story I have ever read. Every story ever? Wow. That is a lot of extra time to look at Clifford the Big Red Dog. I'm just saying, okay? Anywho's it's what. But authors searched every part of the internet to find more info about it. But one story I had always been fascinated by was the haunted Majora's Mask, period. Ben drowned? Full sentence. Remember that? Another full sentence? That always used to make me laugh. Oh, it used to make him laugh? Wait, you were fascinated by it, but it made you laugh. You like scary? I thought you liked scary things. You don't like funny things. Everyone knows you can't like funny and scary things, okay? Oh, but then he goes on. There was something about this story that just pulled me in because of how funny it was, apparently. Either Jaduzable was an amazing story writer, or there was something more to this legend. You know, the Legend of Zelda. Probably Majora's Mask. One particular night, I could not bear to let this one go, period. I wanted to find out the truth about the haunted Majora's Mask. You don't really have to look that far necessarily, just kind of look at the lore of Majora's Mask and kind of what it actually is. That's actually pretty creepy in its own right. And, just think about Majora's Mask, what you know about it. You don't really need a creepypasta, the lore kind of tells itself. Oh, how I wish I hadn't done that. Full paragraph. Also sentence. Moving forward, I don't know where to start at this point. My recommendation is usually at the next part of the story, but continue on. That night, all I did was research. I read the entire story at least 5 times, watched every video there was about it. I had looked up every theory. Hell, I even did a math equation for the first time in like 3 months. I didn't put that in. What was the math equation about? But it continues. After all of that, I eventually just looked at every web page there that was related to this legend. Every single web page. The Legend of Zelda, you got a lot of work to do, buddy. I finally went to bed at 4 a.m. with a throbbing headache and a feeling of confusion, but most of all, a feeling of unease. Because you knew you were going to be in a creepypasta. Oops. Then came the dreams. Full paragraph, which I'm guessing is going to be a theme here. There isn't really much to say here. 3 dots. I had forgotten most of them minutes after I woke up. They were really strange. Semicolon again. Good work. If nothing else, you're at least finding places to put these. But I can vaguely remember apart from one. I remember being in a classroom, a middle school classroom. Spooky. There was a teacher at the front of the class with a book in his hand. He was an old man. Another semicolon. I think in his 50s, 60s even. And, the beginning of the sentence, gonna have to deduct points for that. And I don't remember all of what happened. But he had said something. I was pretty sure he recited something from the book he was holding, but I wasn't sure. Because he was looking at me when he said it. That's how memories work, okay? Author, thank you. I am unsure. You're about a lot, apparently. Back to story. But all I remember of what he said was something about how, quote, this whole thing is a quote, everyone being wrong, that the story is not finished, and that the common phrase we all know is not complete, unquote. Weeks went by, and after every dream I had, I forgot everything within the first 3 minutes of waking up. It was weird though. Another semicolon. Every time I had gone to the computer to go on Notepad or WordPad to recount it, my computer would take half an hour to boot up. I tried to find a pen to write on a paper. That's a weird way that sentence just came out, but let's move forward. I couldn't find a pen in my apartment at all. It's called a dollar store. Prepare next time. I just couldn't find a way to remember of what I had dreamt of. And at the beginning of a sentence, by the way, and I'd just walk around as my memory drained of the dream I had the night before. After trying to recall it at least 3 times, I had given up. Try a little bit harder. 3 times? At least 3 strikes, you are up, buddy. Anyway, something was keeping me from telling everyone of what I know, or rather, what everyone else doesn't know. 3 dots. Now the dreams began to turn into nightmares. End of sentence paragraph. Spooky! Not only that, even though I was forgetting everything that happened in these dreams, I had still learnt. I'm watching you, author. That doesn't seem right to me. But I had still learnt what these dreams had been trying to tell me. Although, I just can't explain what they were telling me. It's like, they were telling me something's wrong, that the people just don't understand, period. That there is more to this legend than that stupid game. That if only Deducible had continued playing. Dots. Then one day, open bracket, last week actually, close bracket. So luckily, no matter what time you're reading this or hearing this in my wonderful video, thank you very much for watching, by the way, it will have always been last week. Interesting time travel thought. Maybe we should make a creepypasta about that instead. I had thought back to the part of the dream that I had remembered, the one about that common phrase? ? I had thought about it. I had a few friends who knew about this legend too. You know, like Deducible, my best friend. Please write another one. Please be my best friend. Etc., etc. That wasn't the story. That was me. Though they didn't take it as seriously as I did. We had always used to joke with each other, when one friend would be telling a story or talking about something, one of us would reply, "Then Ben drowned." Don't interrupt, that's rude. We would always burst out laughing. You actually have friends? Inside jokes. Anyway, it was like our version of the new cool story, bro, except no one had understood ours. I had been lying in my bed and had thought about the phrase for a long time. I had noticed something odd about it. Even though it was grammatically correct, it didn't sound right. Semicolon. I don't know why. For some reason, I dislike semicolons in this story. It's a thing for me, I guess. I don't know what that's about. But it didn't sound right. Ben drowned. Ben drowned. I had said that to myself at least 10 times. Ben drowned, Ben drowned, Ben drowned, Ben drowned, Ben drowned, Ben drowned. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm really white. Anyway, but he said it to himself 10 times, and I had thought it sounded like sort of a weird way of saying that he had drowned. If you asked me, I would have said Ben had drowned. But I'm the guy that used the phrase learnt earlier, so just let that one sit in for a little bit. That, open bracket, in my opinion, close bracket, sounded more like it was referring to Ben. My heart stopped as I figured it all out. The story for this legend isn't complete. Another fucking semicolon. Stop this nonsense. It needs to stop now, okay? Semicolons are agitating me. I don't know why. And neither is the sentence, Ben drowned. If you don't understand, Ben didn't die. Jedusible needs to get that game and needs to complete the quest, comma, and most of all, semicolon, you had to squeeze one more in there, didn't you? You had to do it to me. But Jedusible needs to get a hold of the game and complete the quest, and most of all, semicolon, complete that sentence. Otherwise, we will never find out who Ben drowned. And that's the end. So Ben drowned somebody. I learned that today. I get it. I mean, it's kind of an interesting concept. You know, it's not like a sequel to it, like, oh, Ben's back. Wow. It's more along the lines of, you know, it's taking on a different approach, which I can appreciate, but at the same time, it's just kind of unnecessary. Like, yeah, it's somewhat interesting, you know, kind of a different perspective on it, but at the same time, it just, what's the point? This is basically just him begging for a second installment in the Ben Drowned series, and I don't really remember what happened. I know he said something about being, like, he was laughing at Ben Drowned, but then he was pulled in by Ben Drowned. I mean, I get it, but if nothing else, it is at least an interesting take. It's not like, spooky ghost, boo! It's not like, ooh, something came out of my television and ate me, even though I said television weird. But that is it for there's more to it than that game. It could have been Ben Drowned, please number 2, and I think it would have actually gotten a little bit more traffic. Anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. This has been Stupid Urban Stories. If you'd like to see more of these for whatever reason, let me know. They're fun to make. And be sure to check out the last Stupid Urban Story that I did. It was actually written by a pretty good friend of mine. That one was supposed to be stupid and urban. It was about Jeff Tiller. So, if you're a fan of Jeff, you might enjoy that. Anyway, I'm Newbornkilik, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.